Good evening. Thank you so much. So I'm thrilled to be back. I've lost track of how many of these I've done. I've enjoyed every single one of them. Being here in London at the Royal Opera House starts to feel like home. And I'm so thrilled to always come back. Tiny plug for the Agrippina that I'm doing. Don't worry, I've not lost it. That's all I want to say. I'm still Joyce, but I'm really enjoying being Agrippina. So don't freak out. I'm still me. But it's I don't know that I've ever enjoyed a role as much as I'm enjoying Agrippina in this particular production. But that's enough of my self-promotion. We're so thrilled about tonight. We have 3 really beautiful artists to sing tonight. I love that we're catching them in 2 different steps of this journey. One at the beginning, or 2 of them at the beginning, and one in her 2nd year now. I've told them, and I just tell you as well, sadly for you, this is not a performance. This is not them opening night, the Royal Opera House, in the opening of Nozze di Figaro. This is a working session. Our sleeves are rolled up. We're here to get into the nitty-gritty and figure out if there's another expansive step that we can take as artists, or if we can somehow have a breakthrough, or just try something different, or expand our thought process about it. Which means it's a work in progress, and the idea here is not finished product. I don't look at masterclasses as that purpose. So the idea is let's play, let's get in the sandbox and see what we can create. And if there are some boundaries we can break down as artists, which I think is pretty exciting. That's a lot to ask from them, because we're asking them to open up, be very vulnerable, and try things that may or may not come out perfectly. And we all know the bar for opera singers is perfection. So part of what will help us is if you all just create a really wonderful and safe environment and encourage them to just take risks and try some different things, and just encourage them in that. Because that's what I have found, is that's where the breakthroughs happen, is when we stop playing it safe and we see how far we dare go. Sometimes we have to rein it back in, but at least we need to know where our limits are. So I think we get to start with Mozart tonight, which just thrills me. This is Cecilia Rangwanasha coming. She's here from South Africa, and she's going to start us off with a Contessa. Please welcome Cecilia.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Susanna non vien, sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta. Alquanto ardito il progetto mi par, e od una sposo sì vivace e geloso. Cangiando i miei vestiti con quelli di Susanna e i suoi con miei, al
Well, welcome to the Royal Opera House. Woo! And with a Contessa, nonetheless. This is big.
This is big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's stunning. There's a lot I want to work on because I'm excited and all of that, but I was like, don't stop. Just keep going. It's the Countess. And Patrick, that's like the full orchestra over there.
Yeah.
Really, bravo. That's That makes me want to hear you conduct this now soon. That's better. Okay, so it's just glorious, and your voice is just sailing and riding, and I can hear this roll in your voice. I can hear all of a sudden my mind is going, then you can do that and that and that, and I want to hear this and I want to hear that. So what a gift to just open and that you're sharing it so generously with us. It's really, thank you. I'm not sure I know how you feel about the Contessa. I'm not sure I get that who you think she is. So tell me a little bit about, have you sung the role?
No.
Okay, but you sing this aria of her. I can tell it's in you. Do you do Porgi Amor too?
Yes.
Do you do Sularia? Can we sing that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna sing that. Sularia. Sorry, I want it because I want to hear you sing everything. So, okay, you've not done the role. This is interesting because this is the trigger point between student and professional. This is going to be your bridge time. And so it's not enough just to sing a glorious aria. We have to know and feel that you are the Countess in this. So tell me how you see her and where we meet her at this point and where you are with her in this aria.
Yes, so at this time, Countess is very sad. I can say she's sad because she's thinking, actually she knows that her husband, the Count, is cheating. And then she is also not feeling good because she has to now ask help from Susanna, her maid.
Yeah.
So I think she's very sad.
Okay.
Yeah, and remembering all the nice moments he had with his husband,
She had with
her husband.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so but at the very beginning, her state of mind, Susanna's not here. Oh, God, I don't want to, I'm so embarrassed to tell her. I need her help. She's smart. I'm smart. We can figure this out, but I need her.
Yeah.
And so we're not at Dove sono yet.
Yeah.
When this recit starts, we're not there. We shouldn't even know that it's coming. We can't wait for it, but we shouldn't have any clue that it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay? And also, soprano, you have to earn this fantastic high A at the end of the recit.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
You have to earn it. You have to work for it. Ta 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 ta. Not just ta 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 ta. You know, of course we want that sound, we want all of that, but you have to earn the right to get us to that outburst.
Okay, that I can do. You know, they always say, don't give too much. So like, but I will give, I'll give.
No, but I'm sure you can give, but the setup, it's not the note.
Okay.
It's this page and a half of recitative before it that has to culminate in that note.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I get you.
Can we start? Okay? Yep. No. Yeah. You make that happen.
Yeah.
And it's a Susanna non vi. It's an eighth note. It's not half note. No, we're not there yet. E Susanna non vi. Information. Non viene. Sono scoso di sapere conte. Okay? Yeah. Okay, but we give us 1 second, and you make him play.
Oh, what do you mean? When he's done, or
no? You're just waiting for the accompanist to start. Okay, you can start, and you go. Start.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So
instead. E Susanna non viene.
Oh, okay.
He'll follow you. You make that music start.
Cool.
Okay?
E Susanna non viene.
Yeah, but integrate it more. So it's not the start of a scene. You've been in your bedroom and this here, and it's like, okay, and now here, and then where is she? As Susanna non. Just make it more integrated. Okay? And what will help is then you don't have to wait for the voice to come into the sound. Just phonate versus Susanna non viene. There we are with the voice. Susanna non viene. Go. And the breath will follow and the voice is right there from the start.
Okay.
With Contessa Rosina. Okay? Not Barbarina. Contessa, authority.
Yeah.
But nervousness. Okay?
E Susanna non viene.
Okay. E say, e Susanna non viene.
E Susanna non viene.
And.
E Susanna non viene.
Oh, there, okay.
Oh.
Now we have information.
Yeah.
Yeah. And character. Ready?
Okay.
And.
E Susanna non viene.
Go.
Sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta.
That cosa what?
Accostela.
La.
Proposta.
And what is the proposta?
The purpose.
Costa la proposta. If that doesn't work,
Yeah.
everything falls apart. La proposta. That's my only hope.
Yeah.
Okay? Susanna, sono ansiosa di saper come il conte ascolta la proposta. How did it go? Did he try and kiss her? I don't know. Did she say yes? Did they do it? What's happening? All of that's why you're ansiosa.
Yeah.
Okay? Information. One more time. And. Brum.
E Susanna non viene.
What are you?
Sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta.
La proposta. La proposta.
Accolse la proposta.
Conte.
Alquanto ardito il progetto mi par.
Good. Now, listen to this. Alquanto ardito il progetto mi par. It's royalty. Do you hear how he writes it? Arrival. I'm the countess. Why isn't this working? So have this regal authority. It's your chance to get away from being ansioso. Right? And Susanna non viene. I'm really nervous. I don't know if the count will take it. In this thing, il progetto mi par. Io sono la contessa. Try and bring back your authority. Ed uno sposo, sei vivante e geloso. So each one of those things has a different flavor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Start it one more time. This is just so that it's information and one thought. She's so quick. Not as quick as Susanna, but she's very quick. So let's hear that.
Okay.
E Susanna non viene. Sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta. Alquanto ardito il progetto mi par. E od uno sposo sì vivace e geloso. Ma che malce. Cangiando I miei vestiti con quelli di Susanna e suoi comier.
Good. But let's just look at that line. What are you going to do? You're going to change with your shirt? You must be crazy. So that's not da da dum bum bum, which is deciso. This is maybe it's a stupid idea. So you can get nervous on the way back down. So we've started nervous, anxious. I don't know if it's going to work. It has to work. But he's so jealous. And what will I do with this? Do you see where we are just in the first page? Okay? Now, see, we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to find all this color. And it's not happening here. Just just give it with your voice and the text.
Okay.
Your hands can come in later,
All right.
okay? Because if it's happening out here, usually it's not happening here. Okay, so we're gonna come back to the breath. You're gonna phonate, but you're gonna give the text and this and that and that and that and that. And it's anxious, okay?
Yes.
Let's try it again. Ready? And.
E Susanna non viene.
Okay, what? This is important. E Susanna non viene.
Not here.
She doesn't come. Ready? And.
E Susanna non viene. Sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta. Alquanto ardito il progetto mi par. E od un sposo se vivace e geloso. Ma che mal c'è? Cangiando i miei vestiti con quelli di Susanna e suoi comie. Al favor della notte. Oh cielo, a qual mi è stato fatale. Io son ridotta da un conforte crudele, che dopo avermi connesto inaudito di infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegni, in Dio offesa e al fin tradì.
Okay, you're earning it now. Now, like, right? You feel it coming and it has to arrive.
Yeah.
You've driven this and you have no choice but to give over.
Yeah.
It's the cry of all woman humanity. Okay, so we're going back into. I don't see it. Che dopo avermi commesso di infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegno del primo amato. This is not here yet, so don't give too much on the primo amato because we lose. Because can you just play from di infedeltà, ta-ta, gelosia, ta-ta, 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 so, if we break the rhythm too much, we lose this trajectory, which is fate, sorte. You have no choice. You're tied to this, and that's why you scream out. So can we just we don't want to drive it all too much, but it's rhythm, and you'll win more, I think, if you're going along, che dopo avermi messo in un'infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegno, primo amato. Just dynamic to nothing, but not indulgent. Primo amato, offesa, al fin da. Then you're launched into the next.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Would you agree conducting? And it's easier there because you don't want the conductor like, okay. And then they're like singers.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So let's take a deep breath. How about we start at the top of the page, al favor della notte. And this is your, al favor della notte. It's coming soon, the night is coming. Where's he gonna be? Right? Oh cielo, a quale menadiara da 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 da. You know, just give it more zhuzh. Okay? Al favor.
Al favor della notte.
Okay, but da 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 ya pari. Phrase, Italian. And one.
Al favor della notte.
Yeah, brava.
Cielo, a qual mi stato fatale, io son ridotto di un consorte crudele, e dopo avermi connesto inaudito di infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegni.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
left.
Can you subito it?
Yeah.
And that will make us go,
Yeah.
no, she didn't.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not just fast, it's about phrasing, and you can give us crudel. D'un consorte crudel. And that here's ta-ta, ta-ta, is his reaction to you.
Yeah.
Okay? Can we start one more time? So in this, I mean, the rest, I promise you, it's the hardest work. Not that Dove Sono is easy to sing, okay? I've tried. But this is, still keep it very phonating and find those moments to conserve, because when it gets in a dramatic accompanied recit, it's easy to get shouty, you know, and give so much. So just, we'll go there now, but then you come back and realign and keep it there. But lots of words. Al favor della notte. Okay. Oh cielo. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Yeah.
Al favor della notte, oh cielo, a quale mi è stato fatale, io son ridotta da un consorte crudele, che dopo avermi commesso inaudito d'infedeltà, gelosia, disdegni, di offesa e al fin tradita.
And go.
Fammi cercare da una mia servita.
Okay. Yeah. This is not the point of the phrase. But it's glorious. Vibrate.
Oh,
Then drop.
vibrate.
I mean, just, yeah, your heart's breaking. Your heart's breaking. You know, so I don't do anything different, but don't straight tone it out to stop it. Because then if you've stopped the train, then you have to go, you know, which is what I sound like when I try to do this. Okay? Did you feel your connection to the glorious orchestra?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that? This is the key to recit. And then time is suspended because it's one phrase. You have a million different thoughts and emotions in the middle of all of this, but it's one trajectory to that phrase which breaks your heart, the last phrase of the recit, and then the only place you're left to go is, okay? We had to do one. Does that recit make sense?
Yeah, it does.
From a practical standpoint too, you're still in audition mode and competition mode and things like that. They'll know everything in how you deliver that first line of recit, whether you're an artist or just making pretty sound. So in this kind of a piece, everybody knows it. It's the same with Conte, the Count's aria, all of this. It's so well known. You have to infuse it with total truth and total spontaneity and direction and connected to this. And then people will sit back and go, wow. They already know what the aria will be. You know, okay, they're waiting. Can she do it, that last part in one breath? Okay, you know, like, yeah. I love it. But okay, now there's just, I need to do one phrase of the aria.
Okay.
You have to subdivide this like mad. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No. Do you mean? Okay, no, I don't.
Yeah. What I hear is, oh my God, this is a really long phrase. I'm going to conserve and conserve and conserve to make sure I make it to the end. Like that. And it needs to have, I mean, don't forget, she's Spanish. She's Rosina. She's not Kiri Takanawa, Renee Fleming, Margaret Price. Yeah. This is that kind of aria that you think, oh God, I've got to be Renee. Yeah. Okay. And you try to be Renee, you never will be. You try to be anybody and you'll fail. Okay? And that puts us in a state of paralysis, right? Of like, okay, I hope it sounds like Margaret Price. And we're in that, and what can you possibly do if you're trying to make it to the end of the phrase?
Take enough breath.
Yeah, use your breath. Don't save it.
If I use it, I won't get through, so I have to save.
You want to take a bet? I don't believe you.
Really?
I don't believe that. I think that you've got that in your head. So let's subdivide this. 1 and 2 and 3. Where are we at? How do you do 16th notes? I do 1E and I feel stupid doing. Okay, but 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 1E and a 2E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay? Sing it on numbers.
Okay.
But in a 16th note pulse, or sing it on, scat it however you want, but do not go, wah. Oh, it's in 2/4. I swear I'm losing my eyesight now, people. I literally was at rehearsal the other day trying to read from my score, and I was like, I don't see anything. It's in 2/4, not 3/4.
I was wondering, where are you reading? Because I'm like...
It all looks like just symbols. It's all good. So in that case, that's why it was hard to sing. 1 and 2 and 3, 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1. And you can go. So ignore the rest and just go and breathe when you need to, not when the music tells you. Okay?
Is it the second part we're doing, or the first one?
Do the first one.
The first one.
You want to do the second one?
Without breathing.
Just do what I did and breathe when you want. Okay. Breathe when you need. So ignore all the rests. Just go and breathe when you need.
Okay.
And divide it however so we feel this pulse.
Okay.
Ready? And. We didn't place a bet.
Oh.
Let's call it a beer.
So I got to hear.
You got to hear.
Okay.
Do it again. We're doing the first time. But listen, this betrays you because sometimes you're like 1 and a 2 and when you go long, you're holding your breath.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And use syllables whatever you want, or number whatever you feel.
Yeah.
Okay? And just don't think about where you're getting. Just sing.
Okay.
And when you need to breathe, breathe.
Okay.
No, now see. Don't tank up.
Oh.
You don't have to tank up.
I have
Ready?
to put...
And. Stopping it. Do you hear it? I hear it straighten out in the wrong way. Okay? One more time. And.
Okay, I don't think I understand. So are you saying I shouldn't observe the rest?
Right now,
just
no,
go.
just as an exercise.
Okay, all right.
Just as an exercise. But now we're going to go back to the words.
Okay.
And I want you to feel underneath that pulse.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, can you play, rhythm it up for us?
Yeah.
Ready? And
Do.
go. And wait, did you hear? So there you stopped it. You didn't subdivide between the so and.
Do.
There you go. Okay. See what this has, the end of the aria. That's the energy you have to have under dove sono. And when you get to that part, that's dove sono. You know what I mean? So when it's slow, don't sing it slow.
Oh.
Don't sing it slow. Because you're trying to be the countess. You know, make that sound that you think we're all expecting. The only thing we want is your sound that's connected to this vibrating breath under you. It's all down, you're breathing beautifully. It's down here, it's great, but you've got to release it in these phrases. And the minute you conserve, it blocks.
Yeah.
It's such a counterintuitive thing for singing, and it's the thing we have to constantly come back to. Come back to that, feed it, release. We talked about that at lunch today in the canteen, right?
Yeah.
Release, and you'll be astonished at how far it will move you. This playing under, getting that movement under there is really good as a rehearsal technique.
Yeah.
You know, and then your body and your brain will start to learn that sensation. And then when you go, it feels like that movement is always there. It's how you want to train your body, your brain, your breath to think about it. Active, releasing, moving, supporting. Wow, you're right there, and you're the appoggio right there. And then it soars. And then we can't think of any name other than Cecilia as countess, you know? Because it's yours, and it's your breath is what feeds your voice, which is what makes it your countess. And this is how you free yourself from, you walk the halls here at the Royal Opera House, and you go, ooh, hello, Maria, how are you today? Hello, Dame Janet, I hope you're doing well. Oh my God, I gotta get prepared for rehearsal, right? But it's, we're here in flesh and blood and making it ours, and we do that with our breath. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So just, you'll have breath for days with this. If you stop the mentality of I have to save it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll never work that way. You'll squeeze it out. You'll just make it. But then, opening night and your nerves and all of that, you're going to go, now I really have to save my breath because I'm nervous, and you'll block it off even more. I mean, you might not, but that's oftentimes what happens, you know? So this release, yep, I know you're there. Yep, good, let's go.
Yeah.
It's stunning to hear you. I want to hear your Porgi Amor too, but we don't have time. It's divine.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Royal Opera House. So beautiful. So beautiful. Just divine. Thank you, Patrick. I mean, it's Monday night in London, nothing else happening in the city, and we get to listen to Mozart. I know I sound crazy, but it's the solution to everything. It just is. Look, we're all getting along. We're all here. Mozart. Okay, but also Handel. Please welcome Stephanie. We get to go mad.
Okay, thank you.
Have fun.
Where shall I fly? Where hide this guilty head? Oh, fatal error! Oh, fatal error of misguided love! Oh, Gronesos, how art thou revenged? Wretched I am. By me Alcides dies. These impious hands have sent my injured lord untimely to the shades. Let me be mad! Chain me, if you're ease, to your iron beds, and lash my guilty ghosts with whips of scorpions. See, see, they come! Alecto with her snakes, Agitapher, and black Tisiphone. See the dreadful sisters raise their baleful presence, taste the skies. See the dreadful sisters raise their baleful presence, taste the skies. See the snaky whips they bear. What chillings rend my tortured ear, my tortured ear. Hide me from the hated sights. Friendly shades of blackest night. Hide me, friendly shades. See the dreadful sisters raise their painful presence, taste the See the snaky whips they bear. What yellings rend my tortured ear? What yellings rend my tortured ear? My tortured ear. Hide me from the hated sight. Friendly shades of blackest night. Alas, nor is the guilty vine from the pursuing furies of the mind. Alas, nor is the guilty vine, nor is the guilty vine. Alas, nor is the guilty vine from the pursuing furies of the mind. From the pursuing furies of the mind. Alas, nor is the guilty vine, nor is the guilty vine from the pursuing furies. Nor is the guilty vine from the pursuing furies, from the pursuing furies of the mind. See the dreadful sisters raise their painful presence, taste the rest the guilty find, no rest the guilty find, no rest they find, no rest they find. From the pursuing furies of the mind. Alas, alas, no rest the guilty find. From the pursuing furies, from the pursuing furies, the mind.
We're just. I feel like I need to hold you for a little while. Oh, it's like such a journey to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done this a lot.
Semi a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't really touched it for a year.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, a year. I did it for a competition last year, and then I haven't really used it very much.
Okay. Does it go well in competition?
Yeah.
You won or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the answer. Fantastic. Have you looked at the other arias?
Do
Vijayanagara?
you know what? I did see Cirilla of the Day
Yeah.
when I was about 19 and couldn't sing. So.
Oh,
but
come back to it.
but I would look. Yeah, I would
Come back,
definitely
and that there in Myrtle Shades is just, it's perfection. I mean, there's so many different things in there too to that also excerptable. Every single one of her pieces are just amazing. And I have to say, it's the first time I've seen anybody do this in a master class or audition, and you're so brave to do this. But this is what's great. You commit, so we go with you. But you have to go. You have to really let loose in a way. And I admire it. It's really wonderful for you to do this kind of piece out of context, especially when people don't know it so well. You're kind of leading us along and showing us what it is. And it was just wonderful. Cecilia, do you see how she commanded the orchestra from the beginning? You feel that she's making all of this happen. It's fantastic. Second year. But it's also your first year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're in the second year. I'm sorry. Yes, first year. Oh my God, amazing. But it's that connection here brings such strength, and it makes sense of why there's a piano on stage and why you're standing here and why, normally there would be an orchestra, but in this case there's a piano. And when you're this connected and making it happen, it just comes alive, which is great. Overarching, what I would say is, I'm not sure you were different at the end than the beginning.
Yeah. That's a very fair point.
You know?
Yeah.
So a little bit like also the Dove Sono, you're sort of in the madness already.
Yeah.
And could be that she's already over the edge, or it could be these are the first times she's actually said this out loud, look what I've done.
Yeah.
And then she declares, let me be mad.
Yeah.
One of the best lines in all of oratorio opera. Let me be mad. And it's not that she goes crazy, she chooses it. And the second that portal is opened, I didn't know it was going to be this dark.
Sure.
I didn't know there were going to be snakes. I didn't know. So she just let me be mad. And then she goes on, chain me to your iron beds, lead me out. I'm worthy of, just take me to hell. They're here, they're coming, they heard me. Okay, so that could be, they're here,
Yeah.
take me, they're here, they're coming. Oh God, hide me. You know, so we need different levels, okay? That's one thing, and we'll go back and we'll do it. And the other thing is, you have to, with all the articulation
Yeah.
and the madness and the disjointedness, you have to find your legato.
Yeah. Yeah.
See the dreadful sisters rise, their painful presence eats the skies. See
Yeah.
the painful, dreadful sister.
Yeah,
Let them
yeah,
do
yeah.
the articulation.
Sure.
Okay? And the consonants are going to give you that staccato
Yeah, yeah.
thing, but you're going to be on the right. See the dreadful sisters rise, their painful presence eats the skies.
Yeah.
And then at the end you can make it, but we need that
More like, yeah.
legato. It's going to help it sail over the orchestra. See, see, see. For example, earlier here too, in the page 189,
Yeah.
let me be mad, and I would let that ring out a little bit. Then instead of chain me, ye furies, to your, chain me, ye furies, to your iron beds, and lash my guilty ghost. So almost not even using the rest.
Yeah, so just one.
Because
thing.
all of this is the madness. Every moment vocally that you can find to pretend you're doing do, re, sol,
Yeah.
that sensation
Yeah.
is going to be good, especially when you're rehearsing it.
Yeah.
Because if you perform this on stage, the adrenaline will take you to the dark side, really.
Yeah.
But you want to put it in properly.
Yeah.
Okay? Then, where shall I fly? Where hide this guilty head? Where shall I fly? Where hide this go against that instinct here. You'll still get the drama and everything, but keep it in legato. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning and see if we... So this is not mad yet. Oh God, I'm guilty. They know. I know. Okay, and...
Where shall I fly?
Where shall I fly? Ooh, give us that good ooh before that, instead of where.
Okay.
Where shall I fly? Give us the fala, all of that, because she hates herself.
Okay.
So disdain every phrase. Where hide this guilty head?
Okay.
Oh, fatal error, oh, fatal error of misguided love. I loved him. Okay, so it's not all the same energy. Find the peaks and valleys. Okay, ooh, where?
Where shall I fly?
Okay, and then, can you just don't, okay, where shall I fly?
Where shall I fly?
Yeah, now just add more consonant.
Okay.
But don't add that
Okay.
yet.
Where shall I fly? Where hide this guilty head? Oh, fatal error! Oh, fatal error! Of misguided love!
But, it has to be a little purer when
Okay.
handled. I understand. I totally get that instinct of misguided love. We're in a different part. Of misguided love. Oh, cruel. Then you go to the next thing. Okay? But so here we are. Legato, legato, legato. You guys hear the difference? It's more in the earth, which is what you're trying to go into.
Yeah.
It's the voice is going to speak a little bit more. We still get this gorgeous, beautiful stream of sound. How does it feel to you to do that?
It feels like I'm going against what I usually do, but that's probably a good thing.
But vocally, I mean, you feel like...
It feels completely aligned. And,
yeah. Because sometimes we think, where shall I fly? Where hide this guilt?
Yeah.
But what comes out is... Where shall I fly? Where hide this guilty head? I mean, more legato. And then they're going to get more woman.
Yeah.
More human, more and then when the madness comes and you choose a little salt and pepper or staccato or this kind of thing, then it's not the overarching approach that you're using. Okay? So let's just try it again. Just think legato and
Where shall I fly? Where hide this guilty head? Oh, fatal error! Oh, fatal error of misguided love! Oh,
can that be more of an arrival? Oh, cruel Nessus.
Yeah.
There, oh, and you're so good to work on. You went, oh, cruel Nessus, like you saw him.
Yeah.
Right? And it didn't fit with musically what you did.
Yeah.
And do you really see him, or are you thinking about him? For me, I would save that for the C.
Yeah.
So cruel Nessus is memory, right? It's memory. So this, where shall I fly, where hide this guilty head? Oh, fatal error. That's here.
Yeah.
Oh, fatal error. I just loved him too much. Oh, cruel Nessus. Why? So more this. So just technically, dramatically, the first time you give us that fantastic, let it scare the out of us.
Okay.
And technically use that very specifically for the first time in the spot you really want it to hammer home.
Yeah.
Okay? So can we do Oh Fatal Error? And I want the second O to really hurt. Oh fatal error. Oh fatal error. You have to really, it was fatal.
Yeah.
The first time, oh fatal error. Oh God, fatal error of misguided love.
Oh, fatal error.
Your baby.
Oh, fatal error of misguided love. Oh, cruel Nessus, how thou revenged.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is so good. Don't anticipate that astonishing harmony.
Okay.
So, okay, so stay with How Art Thou Revenge? Oh God. And here, everything should drop out from underneath you.
Okay.
This should be the worst thing, and this doesn't need a lot of voice.
Yeah.
Check it. I always had wretch that I am,
Oh, really?
but wretched I am. That's harder to understand, but check it. I don't know, maybe this is like original score, whatever. But just think about that. By me outside dies. So this, you have column of sound, legato, a lot of emotion. Now, first major change of tone. How art thou revenged? Feel this.
Wretch that I am.
Okay. And for me, you can give more, a little bit more, not more rolled R, but it has to be connected here. I feel it a little bit, wretch,
Okay.
and wretch that I am. That should be a wail, like a wail that you don't dare let out, because if you let out, it's too painful. Okay. Blah. And the first time you've said this out loud, barely say it. Go on. What? What?
These impious hands have sent my injured lord untimely to the shades. Let me be mad. Cheat me if your peace.
Now, yeah. Okay, this is all. Oh, so you have such a good thing for this. But I need something physical and a decision, a totally impulsive decision,
Okay.
which you'll probably regret. I know. Let me be mad. Change just, and it has to be an outburst of just until you realize what you've asked for.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're here. Yes, I want you. And then at some point, hide me. Okay. So this has to be a little more unleashed.
Right.
Okay, let me be mad. Chain me, you furies, to your iron beds and lash my guilty head. What? Ghost with whips of scorpions. Bah!
Yeah.
It just should be like terror.
Okay.
Okay, but foaming at the mouth. This is what you want.
Okay.
Okay, so I love the wretch that I am, but I think by me Alcides dies could also be more pathetic. Think of this as very pathetic. Wretch that I am. And I would even a little bit. Not all the time, that's just vocal. Okay.
Wretch that I These impious hands
Hate
have set
them.
my injured
Hate
lord
them.
untimely
Stay
to
with
the
them.
chains.
Boom.
Let me be moved.
Go.
Chain me
Up here.
your knees to your iron beds and lash my guilty ghosts with whips of scorpions.
See, they're here.
See,
Yes,
they
they're here.
come.
Oh, you want them. Yes.
Lecture with her snakes.
Take me. Take me.
Get a fan and black tie symphony.
Look closer. What do you see?
See the dreadful sisters raise their painful presence, chase the skies.
That's what I deserve. That's what I want. Let me have it.
See the dreadful
Legato.
sisters raise their painful presence, chase the skies.
They're beautiful.
See,
Beautiful.
snaky whips they bear. Shining thread my torture ear.
Wait.
Hide me.
Okay, yeah. Hide me. So, you know, one thing, instead of always just madness and look, they're here, it could be like, they're here. Yes, take me. Oh God, they're screaming. Oh, now I'm scared. So you can find not just all out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really see them. They're beautiful. They're horrible. They're getting closer. So at the beginning, they're beautiful. And then as they come, you see the madness. And that is what is, it starts to go inside of you. And
Yeah.
all of this. You know what I mean? It has to be really specific. Then you've got to find a color on this hide me. That is 6-year-old girl
Okay.
in a really bad situation, you know, and shaking. Hide me. And dare to make it on as tiny a threadbare sound as you can find.
Okay.
There's nothing happening in the orchestra here. Hide me from their hated sight. And it's all ripping that. Okay, this is scared little girl. Okay. Can we do what yellings rend my tortured ear, my tortured ear?
Okay.
Make it stop. Okay.
So from there,
Yeah. Perfect.
Shining thread my torture ear, my torture ear.
Okay, but I'd recommend not rallentandoing there.
okay.
Yeah, because it's too horrible. What yellings rend my tortured ear, my tortured ear.
Yeah.
But because it's relentless. And otherwise it's a little refined. You know what I mean? Try that. See how it feels.
Shining thread my torture ear, my torture ear.
Okay, now just interesting, there is a piano in there, and so maybe that's why you could retard. What yellings rend my tortured ear, my tortured ear. See what color that brings when you go piano. One more time. Legato, legato, legato.
Shining thread my torture ear, my torture ear.
Wait. subdivide. Good.
Friendly shades of blackest
A
night.
lot of consonants.
Hide me, hide me.
Wail.
Friendly shades.
Okay, now I feel safe. Now I feel good.
See the dreadful sisters raise their painful presence, taste the sky.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. It's so good because this is so hard, man. Okay, the other thing I think that will help here is that it's like the Valkyries coming. See the dreadful sisters rise their painful presence. Keep it here because they're probably like the Valkyries. They're coming over there or here or there, but they're not everywhere. I think the snakes are everywhere probably.
Okay.
Oh God, I know. But here, see, this is why I say imagination is the most important tool that we singers have. And the more vivid and more specific your imagination is on this, the more terrifying it will be.
Yeah.
And you can do that because you're not afraid to go there. So be more disciplined and map it out.
Sure.
And get a very like succinct blueprint about what you're doing. Then you can let it go because it will be in there. So you don't want it prefabricated all the time, you know. But look, see the dreadful sisters rise, their baneful presence taints the sky. No, see the dreadful sisters rise, their baneful presence taints the sky. And stay with it because that's more terrifying to me, you know? So pick a spot and let's try that. Hide me, friendly shades.
Friendly
Beg.
shades.
But can you enjoy that harmony more? Can you enjoy the harmony? Friendly shade. Do you hear that? It's not da 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 be. And you're almost asleep. And now.
See the dreadful sisters raise their baneful presence, taste the sky.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. That's really good. And then if you can keep going back and being really specific.
Yeah.
And then, if you've started in a very legato way, and you've started in this kind of thing, and you have those moments of hide me, da, da, as this ramps up, then you can do a bit more physically with, over it. But if you're doing a lot physically at the start, it loses the impact at the end.
Sure.
Or you do a lot, and the madness makes you more and more contained, which can also be super effective.
Yeah.
But don't do anything in between.
Right.
Don't just do it all generically mad. There's too much specificity in this. And the more you can paint it in your head about who you're talking to, and this no rest, the guilty find no rest, the more you spit out those consonants, the more, she's rabid at this point. And so it's unleashed. And instead of putting it in the voice, which I never managed not to do, actually. I always was like, so voice of experience, darling. Use your consonants. But still, and then put it in that way. And then when you do it on stage, let it be what it is. That's the glory of it, you know? Yeah, and then you're home free. So get a really specific blueprint about what you want to do, manage it, keep it on that tunnel of air, and then let it rip. It's fantastic. It's a great aria for you, and it's exciting to hear it because we don't get to hear it very often. Yeah, it's super. Stephanie, welcome to the Royal Opera House. Huge time. It's so exciting. It's really, It's awesome. Madness is extraordinary. Charitza! She's second year.
Bienvenida.
Bienvenida.
Madame Bellini, that it's just radiantly beautiful.
Thank you.
And this, one of the really hard things about our world is that most of us have a lot of these things in our heads before, and it's really nice when we stop listening to the soundtrack and we engage right now. And that's what happened for me. I was almost like hearing it for the first time. It's just divine, so beautiful.
Thank you.
And very, very, the phrasing I love. The recit was actually really great. You can do more double G on tutta mi struggi. That make that really hurt. And tajiri, you know, those are ways to turn it. You're also turning into the harmony in this way that I love, that at the end of a phrase, right before the penultimate note, it could go this way or that way, and you mold it into where you feel it needs to go, because your heart is bursting in so many ways, and that is really beautiful. From a dramatic standpoint, and this is something for you to just think about as you go. I'll give you my impression, and then you play with it as you want. In a suffering aria, it's easy to suffer really well, and to suffer the whole aria. And we want that. We do. We want to suffer with you. That's why we can pay you money. Let us cry. But there's something beautiful, because Giulietta, you know, this is the first time we meet her.
Yeah.
We know her from the story, but in this case, it's the first time we see her. And she hasn't quite, she's not where she's going to be at the end of the opera. She hasn't learned everything yet. She just really misses him, you know? But he hasn't died yet, you know?
Yeah.
And you're standing here in the dress, right? And it's just this, the real sorrow is that you're stuck in you can't do what you feel. And so it can also be confusion, because you love your dad. And eccomi, you know, I mean, it's pretty. I'm supposed to be happy on my wedding day, and I'd love it if you could find that you're not suffering yet, and find your way into it. Like you're almost numb. Like Guinevere has come in, or Genevieve, whatever it is, has come in, and she's dressed you, and she's run out, and she's like, okay, they're waiting for you in 5 minutes, and you're like, okay, I'll be right down. Cue the orchestra, but I'll be right down, and then, so you haven't been standing there for 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Be nice to have this sensation of, okay, I'm coming, vengo. Wow, I'm in my dress, and everybody's waiting for me, and so discover it a bit more. You understand?
Yes.
If I'm talking too fast, tell me.
No.
And then, how can this be? How can I be this victim? So that it grows out of somewhere.
Yeah.
The same thing as in the Mozart. If you start on this gorgeous E flat in that emotional space, it's too much too soon.
Yeah.
Okay? And then tutti mi struggi, and then I miei sospiri puts you in this space to go, oh, quante volte. Simple. She's young. She's young. She's young. She loves a lot. She's still young. Then, in the second verse, you're talking about this beautiful ray, right? And it reminds me of your sigh. So let this be more about Romeo and getting lost in his kiss and the smell of him and how he touched you, and more this, and get lost in that. And then you look in the mirror again, and then you come back to the sorrow, the tragedy, you know? So could we just try the second verse? And I want to see a different dramatic color from you. And let this be sweet and not suffering.
Yeah.
So the triplets and everything come out of love and not tragedy. this is you guys dancing. You remember? Ah. Waltzing. Just feel him. Smile. His breath, his kiss. Okay, yeah, but you've got to go and suspir is where it's supposed to go, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How does it feel with this?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because then it can be more out of love and
Yeah.
youth instead of just the tragedy.
You have more feelings in the music, not the same
Yeah.
feeling.
That's when this dies a little bit, is everything we know when it's coming. So also the triplets will have a different rhythm to them than when they're in love and when they're from sadness. And the you know, it's up. It's this, it's not
Yeah.
See if you can even find it lighter, more crystalline, more he looked at me for the first time. Romeo, I love you. I'll find a way. You know, I mean, just all this back in the memory. So it's not weighted.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the sunlight. His sigh, his breath, the way he whispered in your ear when he walked by. That memory, yeah? Okay? Bliss. Ease, lightness. Float. Yes, good. Yeah. Okay, try it with a breath, so you can take all. We don't mind that you breathe if you use it, and then you can really milk it out at the end.
Yes.
Breathe, but
Thank you.
but breathe, and then what can happen? I have to marry Tebaldo. You can change in the middle, but this is Romeo, and this is your dad in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you want to try that again?
Yes.
And then, listen. All'aura che spira intorno mi sembra. Boom into that. And then, all the time you want.
Yes.
I'm gonna kid I love you. Okay? See, just play with that pacing. Can we go free? Mi sembra un tuo sospiro. Did you feel the magic in that?
Yes.
Yeah, we did too. The way you turned it, yeah.
Mi sembra un tuo sospiro.
Okay, but just come back into the harmony and really feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do what you just did.
Mi sembra un tuo sospiro.
Stay there. Romeo. You can breathe there if you want to, make it work.
Yeah.
But what I would love even more is that you go over this tie. So, allora che spira in toria di sembra. So it needs,
Yeah.
yeah? Okay, let's do allora. Romeo. Never let a chromatic go away without, yeah. Okay? Welcome to the singer's life. Stupid! It's so glorious that you go up there and then we kill ourselves because, like, we miss a millisecond of something. What's that? Don't make it automatic because in this chromatic, the last three notes, that's where the gold is.
Yeah.
And it's because you don't want your relationship with Romeo to go, you don't want the 5 minutes to go down into the wedding, you want it to last and last in eternity, and you can't get it. And so you squeeze out as many chromatics as you can and it still resolves. You know? Mm-hmm. So, there's where the change happens if you can. Then take the breath if you can sculpt that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You have one more in you?
Yeah.
Okay. Off. Sorry, one more thing. But I've got to feel like if you don't go up to that G, you'll die. Instead, dum, 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 yeah. Has to. That's okay, you'll switch it. Yes. Wait. Yeah, but don't even give, don't give up that. Because this is all Giulietta, she doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that yet, but she doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
So, that's a real fermata.
Yes.
Use it, be bold. Also, the last thing I forgot to tell you, in the very beginning, can you play the 3 chords before she comes in?
So difficult, this part.
It's not difficult. Just be brave. 2, 3, 4. It's not blum, blum, 2. Do you hear the difference?
Immediately.
Do you feel the difference?
Yes.
You feel the difference? The first one is, but I don't love him.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's not magic. 3, 4, 1, 2. And it's eccomi. Yeah, don't make it too big of a deal.
Yeah.
It will work if you give it that rest. Okay? Give the 3 chords. Yeah, simple. The more simple, the better. But it's the key is come scritto.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't jump it
Yeah.
to get in. It's a glorious aria for you. It's so refined and beautiful, and the sound it's just lovely and wonderful. Yeah,
Thank you.
brava. Really, it's really wonderful. It's very touching. Brava. Sei fantastica. Molto, molto gusto. Molto gusto. A big thank you for Patrick. Man, you're amazing. It's so fantastic. Really.
Thank you.
No, but it's, yeah.
You're very lucky because you're going to get a chance to ask questions now too. So we're now going to reset and invite our artists up onto the stage as well, so that anything you want to ask any of them or Joyce about tonight, or indeed anything, maybe not what you had for breakfast, maybe.
I didn't have
You'll have that opportunity. So who would like to ask a question? I'm going to start with one of these. So, Cecilia, tonight, within a month of joining the programme, you're already singing for one of the most stellar people in the opera planet. Is that daunting? How was it for you?
That's very daunting because, I mean, like, I grew up watching Joyce on YouTube, so would, like, listen to all her arias. And the first day, our first day on the program, I've seen her on the cafeteria in lunch, and I told my colleagues, "Is she real?" Because no one said would meet someone like her. So, yeah, so it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And we just met today, actually, in the lunch line for the first time. Oh yeah, I am real. So are you. So are you. I love that. And also, Charita, you said too you watched the classes from Chile.
Yeah.
And
Because when I studied in Chile, I was studying in Chile, I saw the videos with your master classes, and it's so helpful for me. And it's so good. Yeah, it's a pleasure to know you now.
Yeah. That makes me so happy. It's, I think one of the things that the master classes now with the internet that we can do is, I think for those of you that are passionate about opera, I mean, if you are here, it's because you're really passionate about it. It's not often that you get to open up the cranium of opera singers and figure out how we get there. The first year I did the classes at Carnegie Hall, which was a 3-day, 3 in a row is how I do it there. And this lady came up to me. She was there in the front row for all 3 lessons. And she said, I had no idea what was involved And she was, I think, one of the people that would say, well, that's not the way Berganza, or whatever, which is fine. This weird world of competing with ghosts that we do in our line of work. And she said the first day, I didn't know why that one girl was there. And then I stayed with it for the 3 days, and by the end, it was amazing to see the step-by-step process that has to come in order to just phonate, really, let alone emote, let alone express and be yourself at the same time and be the character. So I think that's what I've enjoyed about these so much, and to know that people from all over the globe, we all are studying together. We're all in that journey together. Is, I think, very special.
I know there's some students in the audience as well, so you guys, speak up and get what you need to take into your next coaching session.
We're going to get a microphone to you, although your projection is already quite good.
So I'm a singer at the moment, studying at Trinity. When approaching an aria, just any aria that perhaps you haven't heard of before, how would you approach it to begin with?
Yeah, the first question, when you first get an aria, what's the approach? What do you do, especially if you don't know it? Make a choice. I don't know if you're a listener or not a listener. I prefer, the way I work is I don't get something in my ear until I've had a chance to sort of dialogue with the composer first. I play the piano, so I sit at the piano and I play through it. I will do a translation if I need. I'll start looking at articulation, and I'll start to really dissect it. I will try, rarely successful, but I'll try not to pretend that I'm Margaret Price on the first reading and sing and sing and sing and sing, because as tempting as that is, and we all do it, you risk putting it in the wrong way. And you're like, but I want to know if I can do it. Well, use your brain. Let this do a lot of the work and not always that, because putting something in will ingrain it in a muscle way that can be harder to break down later. So I do a lot of work mentally, playing it, getting the text, dissecting dynamics, all the markings. I love highlighting my score. And then once it's in there and I start working on it, I will listen then. And I go, oh, it's supposed to be fast. Or I'll get ideas then. But I don't, I tend to be a chameleon. And so if I listen too much, I'll start imitating. And I don't want to do that. But it's a lot, and the majority of it is text-based. Now, I'm a bit more further along the road than you guys are. I can identify where the hard passages are. I know what my voice does easily. I know what my voice will have to spend some time conditioning into it. And I know what might be unreachable. And I'll jump in and I'll slowly, methodically work on the hard stuff. And I won't worry about the stuff I know is going to be there. But that's decades of experience now. But you don't want to waste the singing and the singing and the singing and the singing and the grinding it into your voice.
Do you learn the whole opera?
No. Oh, I have to be on it. No, I know, I will not sing it all, I won't study it, but I absolutely know where it comes in the context, and I've studied it. Because you can't arrive, even Giulietta, even though it's the first thing she sings, you can't arrive and not have context and to know who she is. And otherwise, what you put out will be generic. It just will be generic sad, generic tragic, generic soubrette, generic tenor, and the industry doesn't support that anymore, nor should it. It should never be generic. Yeah.
Hi, Joyce. You said at the beginning, be brave, be bold, and make a choice. I'm curious to know in the rehearsal room what these young students feel is the hardest thing to do when you approach a character.
Oh, that's a good question, because you guys are at the start of it. As in talking about being brave and being bold, you get into the rehearsal room. What do you do on the first day of staging and you've got a big director up and he goes, show me what you do?
You get nervous?
Do it badly.
Yeah.
Do you have a strategy? Do you have a...
Yeah, I think when you know where you, what's your character, and then because mostly the director will talk to everyone, like the plot, this is how it's going to be, and just get to know each other so that it's easier to work with.
The rehearsal, my favorite rehearsal rooms are the ones where the director vehemently creates a very safe place. I've worked with directors that start yelling right away and start, that's not very safe. And that will shut down everybody in the room. Or in my case, it just goes, you're not listening? Okay, and I either, don't give anything or I give too much or something. That's rare, and it's unfortunate when that happens. Because I think the best conductors, the best artists, the best directors are the ones who create an environment where you are safe to explore every possibility, no matter how frightening or vulnerable or extreme it might be. And we need that space in the rehearsal room to try, so that when we arrive to the stage, the physicality of singing can be settled, that the body, the brain are organized in a way that we can phonate, and the first sound of dove sono can be crystalline and settled. But that takes practice. It doesn't just happen. Because doing it in a studio with your teacher, doing it in a master class, and doing it on stage on opening night are 3 distinctly different skills. And they all have to be mastered. But they're very different. So the directors that keep it safe and say, yeah, try and do what you need, and they're the golden ones.
Right in the middle.
Hello.
Hi, Joyce. I'm just going into my 4th year at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. I wonder, when did you feel like you really found your voice? Was there a kind of striking moment where you were like, this is what I was born to do? I wonder if you had a revelation or anything like that.
Oh, that's a good question. Congratulations on making it 4 years. That's great. Quick question. Wait. Have you found your voice yet? Have you found your...
I feel like I'm on the right track. I do feel I have a long journey ahead of me, but I'm comfortable with, where I am. I feel quite, comfortable, I think is the right word.
Cool.
Yeah, confident in my skin.
Wow, lucky you. So she's asking if there were big moments where I sort of found my voice, or I sort of felt like, it's come in waves, and you get it and then you lose it. And then you get it and then you doubt it. And then you get it and then you think, I never had it. And that continues through your movies. This is, what we do is we open up, it's open heart surgery when we sing. And we constantly put ourselves under immense scrutiny and pressure. Like I said earlier, the standard for opera is perfection. And anything less than that is discarded as, oh, she's terrible. That dismissively. So it's a tough psychological battle. When I was 13, I would walk myself to the pool and I would sing show tunes at the top of my lungs, hoping I'd get discovered because I thought I had it. And then I went to high school and I would audition with my I've got it, and I didn't get it. So it was like, oh, okay, terrible. I didn't really have it in my formative younger years. I finished my first year of training at the Houston Opera Studio, which is basically the equivalent of where you guys are. And I thought I had it, and I went out and I sang my final goodbye concert of my first year, and I sang Non più messa, and I cracked all 3 high Bs. I was 27 at the time. So I thought I got it, didn't have it. Then I went and I did one of my first big professional jobs was covering Jennifer Larmore in the Robert Carson Alcina at Chicago Theater, Chicago Opera Theater. And it was Renee Fleming and Natalie Dessay and Rockwell Blake, and I was covering Jennifer Larmore in Ruggiero, great role for you. And that was a pivotal moment for me because I was really well prepared. The tragedy of cracking all 3 Bs in Cenerentola was behind me by 2 years. I'd worked out some things. And I remember sitting in the back corner where the covers sit, quietly, trying not to be noticed. And I remember just the sensation of, if I had to go on, I think I could hold my own on that stage. But it was with Miss Fleming, Miss Dessay, Mr. Blake, and John Nelson conducting. And I thought, I think I could hold my own. And that was just a shift in confidence that wasn't like, oh yeah, I got it. It was like, I know what I'm doing. So it was not flashy. I didn't dare tell anybody. But it was this sensation, I've put in the work. And now the pieces are coming together. And I think that was a real shift for me. Even though I'd been out in the world for about a year, that was kind of like, I'm in the right world here. And that was in 1999. Born yet? It was in 1999. And it still took me 3, 4, 5 years to get established. And the last thing I'll tell you is even then, working at high-level theaters, I didn't burst onto the scene and people went, oh my God, she's a star. They were like, I got good reviews, I got hired back, and buzz was percolating. It wasn't, I didn't crash onto the scene. But I had a personal moment where I was looking around thinking, I'm trying to sort of be an opera singer. And I'm presenting myself to the world the way I think an opera singer is supposed to be. So I was kind of playing the role of that. And I didn't find much satisfaction in that. And I wasn't really enjoying it so much. And this was a long process, but I finally got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm going to do this as myself, as me. And I'm going to put down the charade, and I'm going to stop wearing the outfit everybody says a mezzo should wear. And I'm going to stop doing the audition with just the right. I had people telling you kind of makeup to wear and how to wear your hair, and everybody looked the same. And it was just, that was what a diva was. And I was imitating all of that, what I thought it should be. And the moment I let that go, then the roof sort of went off my career. But I couldn't have done that when I was 27. That was a process of personal growth, of growing into this world. And it continues to surprise me, and I continue to go more and more into this place, and then I lose it, then I question it. And that's the beautiful, astonishing, tiring, frustrating, amazing work that this industry brings out in the artists, because it forces us to look in the mirror and go, are you really doing the work? Do you really believe it? Why have you lost it? And we have to go, I don't know, but I have. and it's that cycle, at least in my experience, doesn't stop. But with each spiral around, you get a bit more. Yeah. So it's good. That was a long answer.
But it was a great answer. Unfortunately, I think that's all we've got time for.
We have one more? We can do one more.
You want to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, one more
a
burning
really good
question.
One.
Back row. Let's go for the back row in the corner.
It better be good. Just kidding.
Hi, Joyce. I'm very interested by what you were saying about the difference between the relationship between the singer and the repetiteur, and grasping that that intimacy early on. How does that change when you go from a small studio space or a small rehearsal space to being in an enormous opera house with a full orchestra? How do you keep that intensity? How do you keep that intimacy with a conductor, imitating on the behalf of a full orchestra?
Great question. Talking about with the repetiteur and keeping this connection to the music. If the connection is there, it will be there. I had a great director, Leonard Foya, tell me one time about what happens on the stage. And he said there's only two things that exist on the stage, that which is true and that which is false. It can be 99% true, and I'm still not going to believe it. It's still false, And that happens with the music. It happens with that connection of feeling it, and if you can't feel it with the piano, you won't feel it with the orchestra, or it will overwhelm you. You have to dominate it in a collaborative way by the emotional content of what that piece demands. Mozart, Handel, Bellini, they were masters at this, so they knew how to do it. So sometimes you just have to get out of the way, but you can't not connect to it. You'll feel the majority of the time, I would say, it's the character that is dictating what is happening in the orchestra, because it's the emotional quality, it's the emotional commentary of the psychological state of the character. Sometimes it's for theatrical, dramatic purposes, and it gets pushed on, and in that case, it's the orchestra that surprises you or shifts things. If we're lucky and we have a fantastic conductor that is in the stagings, in the rehearsal room, not always the case, but when they're there, and we're able to talk, artists, the cast, the director, and the conductor, and you'll see pictures, everybody's huddling around. But what does it mean when she does this? Why does it go to minor? Why do we have this sudden shift in tempo? And if everybody in the room is in on the same page, we have the possibility of telling the same story versus being run over by the orchestra or the singer going off on their own thing and, oh, I'm sorry, are there people down there? It has to be integrated, because that is where the truth lies. And that's where you can't separate the musical context from the emotional state. They have to exist exactly as they are in that moment. And that's when we lose time. Yeah, so reach out to your pianist, reach out to your conductor, let them push you, you push them back, find the story that you guys want to tell, and tell it relentlessly. Do you have anything that you would...
I'm not sure this thing is working, but yeah, I would just, echo what you're saying, and it's amazing for us to work as pianists and conductors, where you have this kind of link between the singers and involvement with the music and the drama, and you kind of feel all of that through your playing. And that's what I love about playing for singers, and being in these masterclasses and listening to great world-class artists like Joyce kind of being like the conductor, and you kind of live through all of this physically as a pianist. And then when we come to conduct, it's a lot of the same skills, really, because you're having to kind of create the drama, and you're having to listen to the singers and breathe with them, and kind of create that journey together. And so, it's a great training for us, to be honest, playing in all these situations and working with conductors and singers all the time. We absorb a lot, and hopefully then when we come to conduct, we can kind of give a lot of that back to the stage and to the pit and sort of bring everything together. So
one, I think, really important thing, if you're doing, in particular, concerts, we're doing the Sitzprobes just today of Agrippina. It's so exciting when the orchestra and we're collaborating for the first time. But even in concert work, you'll arrive in the concert hall, and usually they've set the music stand to face the audience, and the orchestra is behind you. I always turn around and sing to the orchestra and look at, where's the oboe? Oh, and here's the flute, you're doubling me. And you make a connection to the players in the orchestra, which is sometimes the scariest thing we'll ever encounter as singers, right? They're judging us, you know? And so you try and make a connection as musicians, musician to musician, and you're there with the conductor and to really build, the more you can build that connective tissue between everybody, the more truthful, the more commanding the whole performance will be. Yeah, good question.
That's a great point on which to end. The idea of having, as artists, a collective truth, but we all bring our truth to the party.
Yeah.
And we bring that because we're encouraged to, because we're not frightened. So for anyone who's also watching this online, I'm sure there's thousands of people who are in studying at the moment to do this wonderful thing we called opera. What's so great is that you're so encouraging, and it just gives permission to liberate yourself and to find who you are as an artist and build on your technique through real encouragement. And I just hope that there are more people like that out there in the world encouraging our guys in the way that you've encouraged them tonight.
Take the baton, guys. You're next. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies
Thanks
and
for coming
gentlemen.
out.